So do you guys think that the show has somewhat of the same feel that the movie had? Me personally, if I may take the first one on this, when they do the montages on the show, I'm a sucker for an '80s montage. Like 100% of the time, it doesn't. I could be watching the worst movie in the world if they do like a nice '80s montage. I'm like, all right, I'm in. You're getting at least like 7 out of 10 stars just for the montage. So the montages, I mean, they're almost every episode, which it seems like overkill, but they're not too much when they do it.
Well,
So,
I don't think.
I want to see what you guys think about, like, does it have like the feel of like an '80s show, or does it feel like too modern, or does it have that nice blend between the two?
It feels
Well,
like a
it's
show
very
for people who
retro.
remember the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on, go ahead, Will. What do you got to say, Will?
It's extremely retro. They've done a really good job of capturing the nostalgia for us, the guys who grew up loving Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid. It does a really good job at that. So to Phil's point, I agree with you 100%. And that sucks you in, but then when you see how creative the writing is and how you literally could bounce back and forth to who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, it's just extremely creative.
It
Yeah.
is.
All right, I got a question, right? Because the dude that played the original Miyagi, he passed away, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, who's
Several
that?
years ago.
I mean, I don't know how much we want to divulge, but like, who? Because that character was an important character, and there's the nostalgic piece too that's huge with that. Like,
Are you
who
saying
fills
that,
that character?
to bring it
I
in,
think in
or-
season 2. I mean, spoilers alert. We're gonna give spoilers.
Oh yeah,
We got
definitely.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
so
spoiler alert.
if you're on
You have to
here.
announce that.
Yeah, if
Alright.
you're on here,
Stop watching.
we're talking about the shows like we've already watched them.
So I'm giving you a 5-second warning. We're gonna talk about spoilers right now.
Get
so
outta here if you
One,
don't
get
want.
out, get out, get out, get out.
Now,
I will say it right now. In season 1, to me, Jason, Danielson was the bad guy. He was I didn't like him. Season 2, he was more
prickish.
Miyagi. He was Miyagi to me in season 2. Chris, would you agree with that statement, or?
Yeah, but there was that one scene when he was telling Robbie at the tournament, he said, your father's, you have to remember, I may have issues with your father, but he is your father, and that's a different story. And that was like the first time, like he struggled the whole first season with what would Mr. Miyagi do, but that was the first time in the whole show that he actually talked like Mr. Miyagi, and then they did the hand rubbing bit and they trolled us, but that's a different thing.
So would it be
that
like
was
a face,
funny, though.
would it be a face turn
That was a
for
good troll.
Danielson at the end of season 1? Like we're talking wrestling terms now, folks. A face turn is when bad guy
Kind of.
becomes a good guy. So do you think he
Yes.
was a bad guy and then he turned to a good guy in that scene, Chris?
I would say
yeah,
way,
like he
yeah.
was kind of like Daniel was. To be fair, Daniel was always kind of hot-headed and arrogant. Like even when in the movies, when he was presented as the good guy, he still had a bit of a hot side, and he even said that himself in his scene when he
And-
was at Mr. Miyagi's grave.
Yes.
He said, "You know
And
me."
he took
I'm
Johnny's
always
been a bit of a
girl. He
hothead.
took Johnny's girl.
Yeah.
He took
He's been
Johnny's
a bad guy
girl.
since the beginning. He's not a bad guy. He's just a flawed human.
Dan, that's
They're
what I
both
said.
flawed
He's a
humans,
bad
but
Yeah,
guy.
different
that's
guys.
what
I
it
think-
is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think
So I think
that's
that
what's
the-
great
the
about
point
the
is
show
that
is that
it
it
is
shows
cool.
They're
you
trying
that,
to
that
show
it's
us.
different.
Now we see Johnny's.
The
there's
writers
always
are
another
trying to
side
show
of the
us-
story.
It's brilliant.
The writers were trying to show us, like he was the hero in the movies, but nobody's perfect.
And it kind of makes you look at it, don't judge somebody so
Yeah.
quick unless you know their whole story. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, we're
in the
all
world
guilty.
that we're growing up in now. That's kind of a nice.
Well, now I'm
message to
interested because I was unaware that Ralph Macchio was in this show, if I'm being 100% honest.
Wow.
I
And
told you
now
to pay
I-
have. That
attention.
blows my mind that you didn't know
And
that
now
the
I'm like-
Karate Kid
Bro,
was on
I
Cobra
told
Kai.
you I was uninterested in it, and I thought it was taking a turn away from his story and
No.
going somewhere else.
Oh no.
That's what it seemed like.
Not at all.
The name
I
of the
never,
show,
I
sorry,
never got
the
that
name of the
impression.
show is the opposite of him. So why would I
Right.
possibly think that he would be anything but a small cameo? But now that I hear that it's actually a deep
Oh no, yeah.
intellectual conflict between who's a good person and who's a bad person, and how many points are you going to give this person for doing this compared to this. I always think that it's such a stupid folly of human beings to label people as good and bad in the first place. And I think that this conversation is a testament to that, because you guys are all really stuck on who's what and who's that. But I'm like, it just seems like the show's doing a really good job of portraying the human character.
Well, yeah.
Well,
That's
Dan, like in real life, to our fans watching at home, I am the good guy and you are the bad guy. I mean, that's just how it is.
I don't know if that's how it's gonna play
Dan's
out.
not a bad guy.
I always say that the show seems to. I always say that the show seems to have the goal of taking movie archetypes and turning them into real human beings. And that's basically what it does.
Yep.
I'm interested in that. That makes me interested in the show. Everything else about it,
I will say
didn't care.
this: Danielson is one of the main characters of season 1 and 2. So you definitely
He's definitely.
So of all the seasons, because there's only 2. Okay.
Yeah, he's like that.
He's a big part.
He's a big part of it.
Yeah, he's definitely a big part.
Well, that's my dude. So of course now I'm gonna watch it.
All right, now that we've
no
given all of our spoilers and we've told people what's happening and all that stuff, we got a season coming up, January 8th. Cobra Kai hits Netflix. It was season 3.
January 8th?
Wow.
So, what are your theories on I mean, it's obviously been teased already that we're gonna see Allie, that we're probably gonna see Chosen.
No. Can we go back real quick because I didn't watch I didn't watch Karate Kid 2, Chosen. I don't remember it. Chris, help me out. You keep telling me about this name. Chosen. Who is Chosen? I know he blocked his.
Chosen was the nephew of Mr. Miyagi's best friend, whom he left Okinawa because he refused to fight over this girl that they were both that his best friend was arranged to marry, and Mr. Miyagi fell in love with the girl, and his best friend challenged him to a fight, so he left. And when he returned, because his father was sick, Chosen was this best friend's nephew, and he took an immediate dislike to Daniel because he was Mr. Miyagi's student, and they kind of butted heads. He was like the Karate Kid's version of Ivan Drago.
Did he?
Oh yeah. They tried to fight to the death.
Oh whoa, wait.
Not like a tournament.
Son fought Chosen.
This wasn't like a tournament in the valley. You know what I mean? They fought to the death.
You guys are yelling at me for not knowing about a modern day show that I did no research on, but you're talking to Ron about something that he didn't know.
Oh, believe me.
Well, I want to.
As soon as we go off the air, I'm gonna crane kick him in the face.
Wait. So they fight Danielson.
Yeah. Don't you remember in the ring around all the people, right at the
end? Yeah, with the drums, dude. They had the drum.
I think they'll be.
That was cool.
I had one of the drums too, and
I have one. Not that, but
hey, wait, Chris is trying to say something.
Yeah,
what are you saying?
The ironic thing is that I think that when Chosen shows up in season 3, that they'll be on good terms now.
Wait, how can they be?
I agree.
How?
Because stuff had to Chris, you know, like, because me and you have had this discussion several times.
I think that, the trailer shows the two of them. Well, it doesn't show
the trailer.
Chosen. Yeah. Well, his voice is.
Yeah, his voice and his arms. You don't see his face.
Whoa.
But you assume anybody that's seen Karate Kid 2 and is a Karate Kid fan, you assume that was Chosen.
Yeah. Well, it's and they're sparring in gis, and I think that
That's Chosen.
They're sparring. Yeah, it's Chosen, but I think they're just sparring this time because they're wearing gis, and I think that Daniel did say that he's been to Okinawa a couple of times, so I think he's run into Chosen before this. And another thing is that I think that he's the only one alive now because the Sato's probably dead, his uncle, that
Sato's
knows
died.
Mr. Miyagi's style.
So, Chris, in your opinion, who's more powerful, Chosen or Danielson?
Chosen. Because I said
but he lost the fight.
I don't know about that, man.
It was because of the drum technique. Daniel knows how to win fights, but
is Daniel a good fighter?
People he fought.
Is Daniel a good fighter?
Well, I think he's a smart fighter. He's not necessarily a good fighter.
Well, that is a good.
But he wins, though. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That is a good fighter.
But he wins. But the guys, all 3 of the guys he fought are stronger than him. And this goes back to what I wanted to ask you. When I described Chosen to Ron about a minute ago, I said that he was the Karate Kid's version of Ivan Drago. Would you corroborate that?
I agree with that 100%. I like that.
Chris, before you say
that was an intelligent move.
Chris, before you ask Will, he did like a movie called The Beach House. Just like
Again, ding.
That's 8 now.
I don't know
Number
what
8.
it is.
I think that's number 8.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Don't worry about it, Chris.